Gojo's infinity is kinda broken. I always thought that people who didn't understand the JJK power system were kinda retarded. People used to make it seem like that Gojo had this most intricate power that Einstein himself wouldn't be able to understand. But then Gege Akutame, the writer of JJK, brought in physicists to explain how infinity works. Basically, Gojo takes a finite space and turns it into an infinite space by way of division.
What the f does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
Let me explain for the people who fucking failed 3rd grade in the back. So imagine Gojo has a barrier of 1 inch. The limitless technique would then divide that space into halves, and then thirds, and then fourths, and so on, upon deeming something as a threat. And since numbers are infinite, the division of the barrier is also infinite, creating infinity. Oh, I should also add that Gojo needs cursed energy to keep up his technique, and overworking his brain can fry it and then neutralize infinity. More on that later. So the closer you get to Gojo, the slower you get to Gojo. So this got me thinking, what if you have someone with infinite speed and infinite acceleration? Could the Speed Force bypass Limitless? Now keep in mind, we will be talking about comic book Flash and not whatever the fuck this is. And I'm going to try to stay in mainline continuity, so no Elseworld stories, just canon Flash feats. So now that we have an understanding about what infinity is, let's talk about the barrier to entry that the Flash would have to reach to break through it. The Flash is able to utilize his speed by way of an infinite energy source called the Speed Force. Basically, the faster the Flash moves, the more Speed Force he taps into. And technically, there is no limit to how much a speedster can utilize the Speed Force. There are speedsters who are limited to certain deposits of energy, but in general, speedsters just don't go all out because they don't want to rip through the fucking fabric of reality. But let's take Wally West for example, the fastest Flash. Could he bypass infinity with the Speed Force? Well, the answer is yes or no. I think 3 things could happen. Number 1, off bat, Wally has been stated in multiple scans to be able to reach speeds faster than the Speed Force itself, which I don't even know what the fuck that means, but hey, apparently Wally's faster than the Speed Force. I think it's safe to assume there's no real limit to in which Wally could utilize its speed. And based on that, I think 3 things could happen. Either A, Wally West would just continue to bypass infinity until Gojo exhausts all of his cursed energy. B, Wally would just move faster than the infinity barrier is able to divide. Or C, a paradox would happen where Wally and Gojo would essentially be breaking the laws of reality by having an infinite distance be traveled at an infinite speed. The theory I lean towards more is that Wally would just be able to reach Gojo before the division of the barrier could occur. I think Wally is fast enough to negate infinity since he was fast enough to essentially negate the concept of death, which is just a crazy fucking feat to think about itself, but hey, here we are. So now I turn the question to you. Do you think a speedster can break through a limitless user's infinity? Or with the division of the barrier be able to keep up with the speedster? As always, I'm your man, Brandon Man, and I'll see you as soon as I can. You really should subscribe right now. You really should subscribe right now. Because if you don't do that, then I might really kill myself. I think you should subscribe right now. I really think you should subscribe right now. Because we both don't want me to see me jump off a fucking cliff. So you should subscribe. Yeah, subscribe. Just scroll right there below and hit the big red button and you will